Welcome back. Time now, 9:13. Happy Friday to you. One of these times we're going to pull up this shot. We're going to see some of the practices for the Air and Water Show happening a little bit later on this weekend. Well, on the far south side is a hidden gem that has deep roots in labor history. I'm talking about the Pullman neighborhood. We're joined this morning by Rob Fojtik from True Chicago and Natasha Holmes, the vice president of the historic Pullman Foundation. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So, Rob, True Chicago, you guys are just great about spreading the word about some of our unique and diverse neighborhoods across the city. Why do you think people should pay a visit to Pullman?
Well, Pullman is a neighborhood a lot of folks don't think about when they think about Chicago, but it's really one of the most important and integral to our city's culture and history. Of course, Natasha's going to talk a little bit about the history there, but without Pullman, Chicago wouldn't be the city it is today.
We love to hear that. And speaking of that history, Natasha, let's dive in a little bit. Give us an understanding of the Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters. What exactly is that, and what is the significance here to Chicago?
So the Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters, essentially, commonly known as the Pullman Porters, was the union of the black railroad workers that worked for the Pullman car factory, and they have really they really established what we would now consider like the black middle class in the fight for that. And what a lot of people don't know is that the Porters were also involved in a lot of the civil rights movements that took place in the nation. So the Montgomery bus boycott, the March on Washington, and additionally just other labor and civil rights that broadened the labor movement just for Americans in full.
And also happening in this neighborhood as well, this area was the country's first planned industrial community. What exactly is that, and how did that come to be?
So with the designation of the the Pullman National Historical Park, there are really 4 legislative mandates that are really essential to the American story, right? So it is the rail and industrial innovation. It is the first planned community, industrial community. It is the home of the labor and worker struggles. And more importantly, it is not more importantly, but equally importantly, it is the story of how the Pullman Porters were able to fight for equality and justice and workers' rights, and how they, again, established the black middle class. So the historic Pullman Foundation, which has been in existence for over 50 years, is the official friends organization for the National Historic Park, which is Chicago's first national park. Wow. And so our role is to support the national park in their efforts to really bring more visitors to Pullman so that we can tell that story, because what we say is American stories lives in Pullman.
It lives in Pullman on the south side. Now, outside of the history of Pullman, what are some other fun things that people should check out in the neighborhood, Rob?
Well, one of my favorite things, one of my favorite restaurants, Lexington Betty, is down there.
It's good.
It's really good. Yeah, Dominique and her team make some amazing barbecue. I highly recommend the brisket and the banana pudding, which is, I will drive all the way down there from the far north side for it. That's one of my favorite things to do. The architecture there is, of course, historical, but it's still very much living. There's a very active preservation community. Coming up in October, there'll, of course, be the historic house walk to be able to go in and see some of those historic homes. It's a beautiful part of the city. Highly recommend folks get down there and check it out.
All right, Rob, where can people find more information about True Chicago?
So if they just go to choosechicago.com, they can find information on all the things happening in our city and information about all of our neighborhoods.
All right. Rob, Natasha, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
Hopefully we convince somebody to go visit Pullman this Friday morning.